Okay, I'm back. I had to run to the other end of the house. Shut the door. He's on a conference call with, I don't know, I think it might be the school. I can't remember. Anyway, so, okay. I'm out of breath now. Oh, hello, Karen. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started because I have a feeling this is going to take up the full hour just with me coloring. If it is, I'll try to skip over and we'll move on. But I'm going to do a new, it's a new card. It's one that I did. Let me look at this and see if I have a date on this thing. Oh, I'm out of breath. No, it's a 4 folding card. And I do not have when I did this, but it's long ago enough that I had a different logo. So that's probably, it's been a long time. But anyways, let me open up my Facebook page and make sure that I'm good. And let me flip over to that page. Give me 1 second. And we'll start as soon as I get, Lord have mercy. You know, it never fails when you're in a hurry, right? Things always crazy. Okay, we're good. It's showing that I'm live, so that's a good thing. All right. Okie doke. So let's go ahead and get started because I do have a lot of coloring and it's a little bit of a new fold. I am going to put the directions down if y'all want to screenshot this after I show you the card. Okay, so 2 reminders, and I have a note somewhere. 2 reminders. 1, don't forget we have the in color sale going on through the end of the month. And if you spend $40 or more in my online store this month, and it doesn't have to be in colors, it could be anything, I will send you a free color wheel. And then today, my paper share, so I said it was going to cut off yesterday. If anybody wants to sign up for it today, that's fine. Then I'll go ahead and get invoices out today. I'll place the order tomorrow so that it will go out Monday. And then I'll be able to get everything cut, packaged, labeled, and all that fun stuff. My catalogs, that's a whole nother issue. I had an order that I placed and somehow, don't ask me how, it got sent to one of my customers who happens to live in Tallahassee. Well, that's only 4 hours away from here, right? So we have been going back and forth trying to get that shipment to me. And I was talking with Stampin Up and we were trying to see if they could send a label and that wasn't going to work. So it's taken, she received it, I think late Monday. And it was funny because she called, she said, "Is this my Christmas present?" And I said, "What?" And then she told me, I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyways, her husband finally got it to the post office today. Hopefully I'll have it by Wednesday. So that's put me like a week behind in getting catalogs. I will get those out as quickly as possible. If you order a paper share, it's going to go in there as well. So that way I can save a little bit of postage and not have to, try to keep the cost down. So anyways, so you can sign up for the paper share today, Friday, the 21st of August, 2025. After, let's just say by 9 o'clock tonight, then tomorrow I'll close it out and then I'll get everything placed this weekend. So it will ship out on Monday. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to flip the card. I'm going to flip the camera down. Give me just a second. And I'll show you the card. And then there's a card upside down. And let me push my buttons. There we go. So let me get this camera. I'm really trying. I have a feeling I'm going to have to get a new computer because my computer, and I've sent it off before because we had an extended warranty. I sent it off before because every time if you leave it sit for like no more than 5 minutes, it shuts itself down, which I don't like. And we've gone through all the things of whatever, and it just doesn't seem to want to work, All right, let me see what the lighting looks like. Hang on a second. I'm going to try to get this where y'all can see, and I can turn. Does that look good to you, Karen? Is that clear? Or do I need to add a little bit more light? I can turn on. Actually, let me do that. And then we need to get started because let me turn on. I've got another light I can flip on in the room. That might help. I think that's going to add some light to it. Okay. I really do. I miss the studio that I was using at our cousin's place. I wish he would have never moved. All right. So here's the card that we're going to make. These are the stamp sets, and I'll show you those in just a minute. Here is the directions. So if you want to screenshot that or take a picture or whatever you need to do. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so this is the card that we're going to make. It's a nice long fun fold card, and I put a lot of coloring on here, which probably was not a good idea. And you fold it open like this. Isn't that cute? So it's we have to add this piece is added on to an 11 by 8. You know, this is 5.5, but I'll give you the measurements. But we have to add this piece on to get it longer. But then you fold it up, and it goes just like that. I thought that was really cute. So I did one years ago, and I was going through my archives and thought, oh, this would be a good one that we can do. So, all right. So the stamps that I'm going to use is the textured notes. So I'm going to use this and the thank you. And then I'm doing You Are Remarkable. Now this is an online exclusive, and I'm going to use this one and this sentiment. I forgot about those flowers, or I would have stamped that in one of the places, but that's okay. And then this one, we are going to stamp this one and this one on the inside panel. So we'll have 2 flowers there. It's all about flowers. And then this one is the one that I may not finish coloring because it's a lot of color. So depending on the time, but we're going to use this right here for the corner. And this as retired. I love this stamp set, so I'm not going to get rid of it because I really like the corner. I love when they come out with a corner type stamp. So anyways, so those are the stamps that we're going to be working with today. And I think I've got everything pre-cut. So I'm going to go through and we're going to do some scoring, and then I'll give you all the measurements as far as the pieces of paper. And then I'll bring this back in at the end so that anybody that comes on will be able to snapshot this if you want to. Okay. And then I'm also working with, I used my In Color Coach, and I'll show you that as well. So don't forget, if you place a $40 order in my store, I'll send you the color wheel free of charge. Okay. All right. So we're going to take, you need a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, unless you can figure out how to cut this down to make it at 11, but you need a 12 by 12, and you're going to cut it down to 11.5 by 5.5. Okay, 11.5 by 5.5, which I've already done. Let me just make sure. So we are at 11. Yep, we're at 11.5. Okay. So we need to do some scoring. I need my directions. We're going to score at 1/4 inch. Now the 1/4 inch is, I'm going to do it on this end because it's going to be easier. The 1/4 inch is where we're going to add on another piece of cardstock to make that last layer of the card. So we're going to score 1/4 inch right there. Okay. Now I'm going to flip this around because we want this to go in the same way that our other scoring is going to go. So now we're going to move it over 3 3/4, and we're going to score at 3 3/4. And then we're going to slide it down to 7 1/4. And we're going to score that right there. Okay. Now, where we did the 1/4 inch, we're going to turn that and put that at the top of our paper. Have a pencil handy. And the reason I say that is because you can't see these score lines, right? So I'm going to fold this just a little bit. So where the 7 1/4 score line is, I am going to make a mark. Hang on, let me get to it. 7 1/4. I'm going to make a mark so I can see it. And I'm just going to place it somewhere out. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to put it right about there. And then I'll erase it. But I just want to know where that score line is so that, and I pressed hard enough, but it really doesn't look like it, does it? So it's right here. So I'm just going to make a little mark so I know where to stop. Okay. All right. So we've got 1/4 inch on the left side. We've done 3 3/4 and 7 1/4. Now we're going to turn it with the 1/4 inch at the top, and then we're going to score at 5 5/8. So we're going to go over to 1/2, right? So we're going to go to 1/2 and then add 2 little lines, and that's 5/8. And we're going to score this. So I'm going to push down hard on my scoring tool. Now, what I want to do, why I made that pencil mark, if you can see it, let me move my paper up. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if we can get in there. But I put the pencil mark here because I know I need to stop right at that pencil mark. Now, if you've got the blade, you've got your Stampin' Up! Trimmer, and it has the ruler on the side, then you can look at that as well. So we're just going to bring it down to here and stop And that's what we have to do there. Okay. Now, you don't really need to score it. You really, what we're going to do is cut it. We're going to cut it down to this mark. I think they did it because the instructions that I had written down from previous was to use your paper snips, but I'm thinking, why do I want to do that when I can do my paper trimmer? So you don't really need to score it. You can just cut it. So I'm going to bring it back into the 5 7/8, and I'm just going to cut this down to the 7 1/4, where my score mark, where I made that score line. So you want to come it down, bring it down to that last score line. Okay. And then we're going to take that off. All right. So there we go. You don't really need to score it, just so if you want to cut it by hand, if that's easier. I don't, because I don't cut straight. So I'm going to bring that, and then I'm just going to bring in my paper snips, and I'm going to snip off the piece right here. Now I went down a little bit further. Hang on a minute, I gotta find my score line. I went a little bit further on the cut, but it's not gonna be that big of a deal. So we're not gonna worry about that, okay? And then we're gonna throw that away. This is probably gonna be hidden, but we'll just erase it just to be on the safe side, okay? All right, so now this is what we have. Here's our card base. Now we're gonna fold everything. So I'm gonna fold this back, and we're going to burnish. I'll come back with my bone folder, and we're going to fold that back. And then this one, we're going to fold it in, and we're going to put some tear and tape on that, so that when we add our piece, our extra piece, which let me grab, and let me see if I've got it. I know I've got it in here. The extra piece that you need that we're going to add on to extend this is going to be 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Yeah, 4 1/4. Okay. And then we're going to add that to this piece right here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this little piece off after we add that. And you can, however you want to add it on there. Let me see how I did it on this one. I think I did it a little backwards on this one. But it doesn't really matter because it's going to be covered up. So I'm going to put, pardon me, I'm going to put some tear and tape on this. Pardon me. So let's get the tear and tape out. And we're going to add a little piece of tear and tape so that we can adhere this. And you can put it all the way down. I'm not going to. I'm going to add this. Let me get in here so y'all can see. I'm going to add, let me see. Well, hang on. Yeah, that's the top. So I'm going to add it here. And then I'm just going to cut off once we get to a point. I'm probably going to stop right about there. And I'm going to trim this extra piece off once we get this attached. Okay. So let's pull this off. And this is going to be our extension to the card. And hopefully, whoopsie, hang on. Got to get my tear and tape on here. Okay, there we go. All right, so then we're going to add this piece. Again, this is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to line it up right here on the end, get it as close to that folding score line, and I'm going to attach it just like that. Okay, and I'm then going to come in, and I'm going to just cut this little piece off with my paper snips right down the score line, because we don't want that there, right? We want to get rid of this little piece right here. Okay, so there's that. And then that gives us our extension to our card, okay? Now, my paper, my white, I think this is one of our white cards, the 12 by 12 card stock. So it's a little bit not as thick as what we're used to using. So anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and give all of this a good burnish, and let's do all the score lines. So let me do this one, and then we're going to start adhering everything. All right. So there we go. There's our card, and I can see that I need to come back just a little bit, but it's no big deal. And then that's how it's going to open. Okay. So we're going to leave that right there. Now we're going to come in, and I'm going to give you the directions and pieces of what we're going to do. All right, so you're going to need, let's do the mats first, okay? All right, we got mats. And I'm using Flirty Flamingo cardstock and all sorts of different ink colors. Okay, so we're going to have one mat. Let's go this way. We're going to make two mats, which is going to be on this side, the front, and then this inside piece. Okay, so you want two of those, and those are going to be at 3 interior front. Hang on a minute. 2.5 by 4. So you're going to 2.5 by 4 inches. That's going to go here, which will cover up that seam, right? And then one for the front of the card. So 2 at 2.5 by 4. And then you're going to need 2 at 3.25 by 4 3/4. So you're going to have, this one's going to go here, and then 2 that are going to be at 3.25 by 4 3/4, right? And then the last one is going to be at 4 by, okay? So those are our mats. And then you want to come back and you're going to do 2 basic whites at 2.25 by 3 3/4. So that will be what's going to be on the front, and then this piece here. And then we're going to do 2 for our middle sections, and those are 3 by 4.5. And then of course this one is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so those are the mats that we'll have to make for our card. Okay. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to take all the white pieces off, and we're going to start our stamping and coloring. So it may be when I get down to the last card, I may not have time to color it all, only because I don't want to hold you up more than an hour. Okay. All right. So let's move. We're going to put these over here out of the way for just a minute. I'm going to bring in the stamps. Now, the first one I'm going to stamp is from the Just a Note. And I'm going to use basic, no, what am I doing? Yeah, basic beige. So it's a really fine light color. And then I'm using Flirty Flamingo because that's our cardstock. And I'm going to do my sentiment. I'm going to move this out of the way so we don't get stuff in the way. All right. So I'm going to do my sentiment first because that way will help me place my piece down that I need to stamp. All right. So I'm going to do Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to make this a thank you card, and you can do whatever you want, right? So let me get this in the camera, and we're going to stamp this. Hopefully it goes on straight. We're going to stamp that right at the top. Okay. That worked out. So far, so good with that one. All right. Now we're going to come in and we're going to stamp this little rope set from Just a Note. And I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to place this down just kind of like a background piece. I'm just going to stamp it right there. Okay. And whoopsie, get my fingers in it. All right. And then I'm going to close that one up. I'm going to bring in the, I love this Secret C, right? So I don't want it this black. So what I'm going to do, we're going to move this out of the way. You get that one cleaned and get him out of the way. All right, let's set him up there. I am going to use one of the leaves from that same stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that. Let me get a scrap paper. Hold on one second. Let me see. I know I've got one in here somewhere. Hold up. Let me grab. Here, let me just grab one. We'll use this one. All right, I'm going to stamp it up in the Secret C, but I don't want it that dark, right? I just want it light enough to where I can color in without having it being really black. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to come back in, and it should give me a lighter tone. And then I am going to place this just anywhere on here. I'm going to try to, it's not going to all fit, but that's okay. Let's see. Let's do it like that. So we're going to stamp that, and then I'm going to color it. So see how the color comes up much nicer when you stamp off? Look at the two shades. So this is Secret C, and then this is the lighter shade. But doesn't that almost look identical to the cloud cover? It's really close. You could really get away with doing that. So, all right. So that one, go ahead and we're going to color that. And So let me go ahead and get that colored. I'm using Shaded Spruce because it goes with, I looked at my color coach. Now, y'all, if you place the order or you order the paper share, then I might send you one of those. But if you place a $40 order, Flirty Flamingo says Shaded Spruce is a good color, and also Petal Pink. So I'm going to be using 2 of those colors. So I'm just going to take, and I'll do quickly. I want to color, and I don't know if I should leave those, but I'm going to color the dark leaves in the dark Shaded Spruce. So this is the thing that is what took up a lot of time, because I had to color these things, right? Now I could have left them like this. Let's try, hang on a second, show on stream. There we go. It came off the stream. I apologize. All right, so I've got this one colored, and I put that on one of our base pieces. And again, I'll put the instructions at the end so that screenshot all of that information. I'm not sure why it went off screen. I'm going to have to call the company. Oops, let me turn off my sound on the phone. Hold on. Hang on. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to come in with our second piece of basic white, wherever that one went. Hang on, now I'm getting myself confused. Okay. All right, so the second one, we're going to use a stamp from, I'm using like 3 different stamp sets. So let me pull in the one that I need, which is this one. And this is from the, this has got to be from, which one is this one? Where is this one from? Oh, this is from the Corners in Bloom, which obviously is retired as well. And if you were on earlier, I mentioned that I'm not getting rid of that because I like it. Now this one, again, I'm going to stamp in Secret C, but because it's a little dark, I'm going to stamp off again, just lightly. And then I'm going to place that one on here. Let's see, let's stamp it about like that. And then we're going to color this one in. Get this closed up. My apologies, everyone. And we're going to color this with our Flirty Flamingo. So we're going to color this in, and I'm going to work fast at this. That's the light. Let me do the, you know what? I'm going to do light, and I'll come back and do the dark, and then we'll color in. So I'm just going to come in and highlight these little petals right here. Look like they're hearts in this stamp, which I think is kind of cute. I don't know if it was meant to be like that, but it is. So I'm going to color these, and I'm going to try to do it pretty quick because I know the coloring is what takes so long. And I'll try to do as much as I can in one big swoop. And this one's easy because they're all kind of together. So I can do that without getting messed up here. So we're going to color this. But I think this is a great, if you want to do something different, card, because it's a nice long fold. It fits in a regular size envelope, so you don't have to worry about that. The one I did the other day, Tuesday night, I think the measurements, it said 5.5. I think it should have been by 11. I think it should have been cut down to 4 1/4, and that would have made it fit in the envelope. So keep that in mind. The way I did it, we would have had to create an envelope based on those instructions. And I think the instructions were incorrect when I was looking at some of the other information. And then I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I bet you that was wrong too. And that's why it didn't fit in a regular envelope. So the one from Tuesday night, it should be 4 1/4 by 11, not 5.5 by 11. All right. So just to let you know, in case you were wondering. All right. So that's our light pink. I'm going to come back in with the dark flamingo and just put some little dark highlights through here on these flowers, just to give it a little pop to these guys. I'm just coming in and around the bottom parts of the petals, just making some dark dots just to show a little bit of depth, so it doesn't look like they're just hanging out in the air, right? So I'm just coming in, and some of you are probably better with coloring and colors, putting colors together. So I am not an expert. I will tell you that right now. When it comes, whoops, I left one out right there. We'll just color it with the dark. So you color these whatever you think works best for you. Okay, so I just want to put a little bit of this, kind of make it look more like it's grounded. All right, and then I'm going to come in, and again, I'm going to use my shaded spruce because I like the color and I think it's pretty. And I'm going to come in just with the light color and just pull it through these little leaves right here and try to stay within my lines. And I'm going to try to do that real gently on the stems. I think this is I love this color. I've always loved shaded spruce. All right, so we're going to probably bring that one down. All right, and again, for those just joining, the paper shares are open through today, last chance, and then I'll get the order placed and get those. As soon as I get the order in, I'll get it placed this weekend. They'll ship it Monday, hopefully, or Tuesday, and then we'll get those and get them packaged, cut. They'll be packaged individually based on stamps, designer paper with the information and colors and all that good stuff, and labels. Okay, so we've got that, and now I've got this little tiny stamp. I think it's a little tiny one. Yeah, I'm going to do this in shaded spruce. I'm just going to stamp this around. Let me find my shaded spruce inks. Oh, here it is. I'm going to, because it looks kind of naked, so I'm not putting a sentiment on this one. So I'm going to stamp this one, this little flower right here, and I'm just going to go around and just to kind of give it some background. I don't want it to look like it's just all this whiteness, right? So I'm just going to come in. I might place one right about there, and we'll put one here. Let's put one there, and then we'll put one down here in the corner. So, and I think that's good. Maybe we need one up here. Let's put one in the center. All right. That's all. I just want to do that to give it a little, kind of give it some grounding. All right, so that one, now we're done. We're going to attach that. This is the other smaller one, so we're going to go ahead and attach that to this card here. All right, so we're going to do that and get that glued on there and put that on here. And then once we get everything completed, I'll attach them all at one time, make it a little bit easier. All right, so those are our front piece and then the inside of back of the front. So I'm going to set those over here off to the side. Now we're going to do our two center pieces. So that's these two right here in the center of the card. All right, so I am going to, give me 1 second. I'm going to move some of these little these stamps out of the way that I've already used, so I have room. Okay, now this one, we're going to use two of the bigger stamps that I have from the Thankful Garden. So I'm going to use this one on one side and this one on the other. So we're going to go ahead and stamp those. And let me, give me a second. I'm trying to, let's see, this one we're going to stamp. So let me get my Secret C. And I've got the stamp right here, so bear with me. All right, so we're going to stamp this one in Secret C. Is it me or your connection? All right, can you see me, Linda? I think that was before. Okay, so that's in our Secret C black, so we're going to stamp that. And we'll put that on one of these cards. I'm going to huff on it. And I'm going to place it right about there. And then this one, we're going to color in Petal Pink. All right. And then we will, again, I'm using shaded spruce for all of the leaves. So that is kind of the ongoing color. All right. Let me take this guy off because we're going to use this for the next flower. All right. So we're going to do Petal Pink. And we grab those right in here. I've got the light and the dark. And this one, according to my coach thing, my little Petal Pink goes with Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to do some quick coloring on the inside of these petals with the dark. All right, and then I'm going to come in and make some little, and I'm going to make these a little dark too, because those are kind of like shaded. And then this one, I'm going to come in and do the same thing. We'll color this one. And again, this is the dark Petal Pink. And I'm just going to do a couple of little marks where the artist has made the notations of that. And then we'll come back in with the light. And this one, unfortunately, I think my lights, I'm going to have to order a new one. So, but we're going to do a quick coloring on this. And around the leaves. And then where I missed some of these highlights, I'll come back with a darker color and fix that. And we're just going to color all around the petal. And if it's not exact, y'all don't need to see sit here. This little guy right here. Yeah, I can tell I have another one. When I was in the Villages, I ordered 2 sets of the Stampin'. I probably have another set of for a light I keep freezing. Oh my gosh, what is going on? I wonder if it's because my husband was on the other doing a business thing. I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to find out because that's not going to work. Thank you guys. I need to pay attention to my screen. I apologize. Maybe our bandwidth is not enough to hold both of us doing streaming. I'm going to instead of my phone, which I'll need to look into that. So the year which I had a good pricing that much. Anyways, doesn't matter. I apologize, everyone. We're going to use the stamp from Thankful Garden, and we're going to go ahead and stamp this one. And then this one, we're going to do a different color. So let me go ahead and get my ink and see. Set that off to the side, and then we're going to stamp this on. On here, I'm going to stamp the center. I'm going to do that. Okay. getting the connection. My cord is loose. The border. So that's going to go there. So we're on there. So that's going to go right there. Now this one is corner blooms, and I need to get my black ink out, and we're going to ink this up, and then we're going to place this on the card, and I'm going to make the two corners. I'm going to leave that open because we're going to need it in just a second. All right, so we're going to place this on here, and some of it's going to come is not going to fit all the way, but that's all right. We're just going to go for it, and we're going to push this down. And I'm going to push. Now, this one doesn't fit all the way, so I'm pushing this little piece of the stamp because I don't have a block big enough. I should have used the stamp positioning tool. All right, so let's make sure we've got that pushed on right, nice and hard, and get it so it gets our good coverage. Okay, I missed a little part right there, but that's okay. All right, we're going to ink this up again. I didn't push hard enough on that leaf. I think that happened on the one I did earlier. All right, so we're going to ink these up. And we're going to do another. So now that I have that corner, I'm going to switch it and do this corner. So I'm going to turn it sideways. It's just easier for me to see and to line it up. So we're going to place this right about here. And I'm going to leave some room so I'm not touching the other flowers. And then we're going to push this down. I'm going to push on this one just in case, just to make sure. And give it some good pressure. I probably should have pulled out my little rolling tool. That would help on the pressure side. Okay, there we go. Isn't that pretty? Other than that, we're good. And this one too. So apparently it's not picking that up, but that's all right. Okay, so now we're going to, let me move all this stuff out of the way. I'm going to stamp the other sentiment. And this one I'm going to put in the center of the stamp of that picture. And this is saying sometimes the simplest things mean the most. So we're going to stamp that right in the center, and then I'm going to color the flowers here. All right, so we're going to stamp it, and I'm going to stamp this in black. I almost did it in a gray, but after I colored it, I really liked the sentiment in the black. So we're going to stamp that right there. All right, and then that's all the stamping that we're going to be doing. And we'll move all this stuff out of the way. All right, and then we're going to start coloring. I did these, and I really like the shaded spruce, and the flirty flamingo is what we're going to do on this one. So I'm going to come in with the dark flirty flamingo, and I'm going to start, let me get my other side here. I'm going to start in with my areas that I want to highlight. So I'm going to start on this side and just make some quick lines here. I'm going to make this underneath part dark, and then we'll do the same thing on these petals, and then we'll come back and we'll color. And then this side is kind of going up, so I'm going to give it a little darkness there. Now I'm turning, so I'm just going to do the same thing. These pieces, I'm going to make these a little darker because they're kind of on the bottom. And then the same thing, we're going to come in with the petals. So we're going to do a little bit dark there. And we'll do this thing a little bit darker. And we'll do, let's see, this one might be, and then we'll just do a little bit right here. And then those up there. And let's twist it this way. And then we'll just come in. Again, these are the underneath parts that I think probably would be a little bit darker. And then I'll just do a few lines here. So that kind of accents the flower itself. These are little bulbs, I guess. I'm just going to do a little bit there. And then again, I'm going to come down and color these. And then again, I'll just make some emphasis on these lines. And here's another one. I found out when I was doing the other one, I missed some of these little bulbs, I thought, oh, it came back around coloring and it was gone. All right, so we're going to just do that. And we're going to come over here and do these. I'm trying to keep an eye on the computer in case my screen decides to go blank again. I'm trying to be on top of it because I don't want y'all to miss anything. And this is going to go there. I'm going to do a little bit there. And then this one. And that one. And then we'll come back in with the light flirty and take care of getting it all colored. Do that. Okay. All right, let's see. Well, so far so good. Got my fingers on, got my eyes on the thing. All right, we're going to come in now. Whoops. See, I missed some right here. So we're going to, whoopsie, got to pull out the right tip. Do a little bit of emphasis here. All right. And I could have done that afterwards, after I colored it. It's no big deal. So this is the light. So I'm just going to come in with the light and color all of these petals. And I'm trying to keep an eye on the computer to find out why it's. All right, so you get the gist of what we're doing, right? So we're just going to color this. Hopefully we get this done. And let's see, we're going to do here. All right, we're almost done. So give me, if you don't mind, about probably 10 more minutes. We'll get this done. We'll have the card done. Just got to color the leaves and we'll be done with the card. Get my coloring going on here. I'm going to do some speed coloring. And if y'all have suggestions on other colors that you think would look nice, then let me know, because then we can always make another card at some time. Not this particular, but use this if we wanted. And then we can use some other colors. We could start looking at fall colors too, right? Since we're getting into the fall scene. All right, we're almost done with the coloring aspect of these flowers. And this one needs to be colored. All right, and then it won't take long to do the leaves, that's for sure. So I'm just kind of coloring over where I did all the lines. I may come back and make them a little bit darker. And we got one more here. You think you're almost done, and then you look and you're like, wait, there's more. I'm definitely going to have to order some more Flirty Flamingo, huh? The Flirty Flamingo, which is a good color. All right, we'll do that. So you can do pretty good. I mean, I'm not doing the highlighting like I probably should, but this will work. All right, we have a couple more. Good Lord, I thought I was done. I had the whole other side to do. All right, that in here. And I'm turning the marker, the blend, so I'm using a different part of the felt tip so we can get more ink out of it. All right, so, okay, you keep freezing. No, it's not you guys. It's apparently my computer. I'm not sure why it's freezing. And Karen, that might be something you posted a few minutes ago and I didn't see it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to keep an eye on it so it doesn't freeze up. I don't know why it's doing it. Who knows? Okay. And I apologize for that. Okay. Technology, right? All right. So we're going to do again, we're doing the shaded spruce because, you know, it's I like this color. This one, we're going to have to kind of make our leaves. I'm just coming in and doing my little veins a little bit just to give it a little bit of depth here. And then we'll come back and see, I missed a bloom right there. So we'll have to come back with the flirty. And let me go ahead and color this part in. We'll make that. And this one, see, I missed two right here. See, they pop out at you. You don't see them, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's another one. All right. I'm just going to draw some lines. All right, let's see. I think we're good. Let me come back with that petal. I'm just going to do the dark. Whoops. I'm going to do the dark petal pink, and I'm just going to color this guy a little bit darker. It's a bud. And then this one, I'll do the same thing. Okay. If I come across any others, we'll fix those. Now we're going to come in with the shade of Spruce Light. So we'll just start. We'll start right here where the ink didn't go all the way through, but that's all right. And we're going to color in here. Come up in here. Keeping an eye on it. So, and then this part down here, we're going to color. All right, so we'll get these going. And this one. And then we'll do this one. All right. We're getting there. Hang in there, you guys. That was a lot of coloring for today, isn't it? All right, so we'll get this done. Oh, there's another bloom I forgot. We'll come back and get him. Try to get most of this done. If I don't get it all finished, it's taking too long, then I'll go ahead and put the card together and I can come back and finish the coloring. It's no big deal. All right, so let's get that done there. This guy needs to be colored here. Keep our fingers crossed. We haven't gone off yet again. Look at that. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of coloring with this set because it's got a lot of these leaves and items that we want to color, right? We'll come back and, all right, so a few more. All right. So you can see with the card. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'll come back and finish coloring. I don't want to hold y'all up more than an hour, and we're already, well, we're about 2 minutes over. So I'll color until 5 minutes, and then I'll put it together. How's that? All right, and then we've got, actually, we're down to the last one. So there you go. All right. Okay, well, I got 2 more. I lied. I didn't see these guys up here. All right, so get these done. I was trying to do this before I went live and I wanted to have half of this covered, but one of those days when yesterday I sell my Etsy, I have 2 Etsy stores, one with my handmade greeting cards and one for my retired stamps, paper, and all that stuff. And I was doing cards yesterday, and it took all day for me to photograph some of the cards that I thought had been photographed and get them all together. So anyways, all right, so there's that one right there. So we're going to go ahead and attach it to here. And then we'll have our card finished, and I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'll put the directions up again for those that came on late, so you can take a screenshot. All right, so now we're going to take all of these and we're going to add them to our card base, all right? So we're going to take and just line them up and get them on here. So we'll go ahead and put these down. All right, so this is the inside basically of the card. Well, one of the insides, the back of the card inside. And then this will be the 2 center ones. All right, and that one's going to go here. And I'm going to try to get them lined up so they're even on the bottom. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, pull that up just a tad. All right, so that's that. And then we're going to do this one. And I like this. It's like a stacking. They kind of stack. And then we'll put that one right about there. Oops, gotta get that up there. So we have a little bit of white border there. All right, and then this one. So it's going to cover that space right there where we added the extra piece to give it the extension. All right, so this one is going to go here, and that's going to cover up that piece that we did to add for our folding part to hold it in place. So that's going to go there. And then this one is going to go on here, which is the front of the card. And this one's going to go right here. And then you can write your message. You can, however you want to decorate it, your message can be written on the last page. All right, so now we're going to fold it up. And there is our card. So, and it goes in a regular size envelope. So open, and then you've got all, however you want. You can put messages throughout. You can put flowers, however you want to decorate your card. That is your choice. Here are the measurements again. If you all want to take a screenshot of that, I can hold it up for you if that makes it easier. Or you can zoom in, whichever. Okay, so there is our fun flip fold card that has an extension to it. I think it's a really cute card. I think I'll make another one and maybe put some sentiments throughout instead of all the flowers. Like make one with some flowers and then do some other designs on the other side. So you could have, you know, some of the stamps that we have that have the houses, or it has the people on there, the lady, you know, sitting, or the playground, some of the kids, or whatever. So anything that you wanted to create this card, I think it's going to be, it really is considered a wow card. So, okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon for Fundamental Friday. I greatly appreciate it. And here are the measurements. If you want to take a screenshot of that, don't forget paper shares. You have till this evening to go ahead and sign up if you haven't already done so. And if you'd like a catalog, just leave me a message. You'd like a catalog. I'll get those out to you this next week when my order comes in. And for now, have a great weekend, and I will see you all Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again, everyone. My apologies for the screen kicking us off every now and then. I'll look into that and make sure it doesn't happen in the future. All right, have a great Friday and a good weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Bye now.